like Winston, and have it be way more effective than when he tried flexing to those in the past. So really impressive stuff coming out here from C9.
All right, well, nice opening map for Cloud9, where I believe all of Cloud9 have to leave while we host the next game. There's a weird issue with trying to get the right server for the teams. But coming up next is going to be Watchpoint Gibraltar, and ZP, this is definitely the first time we've seen this particular map in this tournament. So let's talk a little about Watchpoint Gibraltar. Why aren't we seeing it more, and any kind of change-ups or interesting little quirks to talk about as we go into it?
So the thing about Gibraltar is that Gibraltar, of course, one of the longer escort maps in the game. And for teams, a lot of teams just don't really enjoy going through the hangar phase. Some teams are very adept at it. C9, definitely one of the teams that really likes Gibraltar. In fact, you go back far enough, C9 really made this map their own back in the day when you could run things like Double Winston, but it still gave them a pretty good understanding of how to engage on this map, how to deal with high ground and all the rest. And even though you can't run that particular strategy nowadays, I still think they're pretty comfortable on it. They do like running things like, say, an early Hanzo to get early momentum. And it's a map that, because other teams don't play it as much, it can give C9 an edge in going forward. That said, though, you talk about Faze going into it, it can be a very good map for Genji and maintaining momentum as well. So when you have a player like Shadowburn on your team, it's not bad either.
All right, so it looks like Cloud9 going to choose defense first. They will temporarily be exiting the lobby here just so we can load in properly onto the correct server. And then we'll get underway with our second map here. It's a best of 3, guys, and Cloud9, should they win this, guaranteed the easier path to the grand finals. They only have to win 1 best of 3 there, not 2. Pretty big deal, ZP. That gives you a much more comfortable road, and you also get to sit back, watch Faze's games, and maybe do a little bit of extra strategizing on your way in.
And the funny thing about C9 is that this is a position that they've been in quite a bit recently. I think back to a lot of the monthly melees where, for the most part, C9 usually is able to get in from the upper bracket. So C9, very familiar and comfortable territory, and I gotta say our invite game is on point. We just got all of C9 in there, -1 pretty quickly. Just missing Mendo.
All right, so 12 players entering the lobby now. I'm going to be unpausing here momentarily, and we'll get into it. Do you give either team the edge, ZP, as far as this particular map?
I think just going off experience, and I understand for C9 that when I was mentioning their history, of course, they did swap up 3 players, but given that their core is so comfortable on this map, I still give C9 a bit of an edge here. The thing to keep in mind, though, anytime you go against Faze, is that Faze is still one of the more variable teams in the game. Shadowburn, while he's pretty consistent, definitely has better days than others. 2Es in particular, extremely variable. So Faze always has that potential to roll in and have a very strong game. But overall, I probably favor C9 a little bit going into Gibraltar.
All right, I'm excited to see what kind of comp they will be running. We definitely saw they appear to be the more willing to swap and go unconventional, at least on the opening control point map of Lijiang Tower. So waiting on C9 to be ready. Faze, they will get back in the saddle here, and they'll be opening up on attack. As far as the attack-defense balance on this particular map goes, ZP, do you feel it's particularly slanted either way? And are there any key areas where you can get hung up or have to worry about?
I would say it's momentum-based more so than anything else, where you can watch an offense just roll through a defense if they get a few good early fights, and the defense can fight really hard to struggle. One of the things you get a lot on this map is the spawn points, where if a team is taking the first point, but you have people respawning at the first point respawn for the defense, they can actually find it very difficult to get back and actually recover.
All right, Shadowburn for now showing Hanzo. Has he played much Hanzo before?
Lots of Hanzo. And Shadowburn, his Hanzo has definitely been improving as time goes down on. I don't know if I'd quite put it on the same level as, say, the Hanzo we see of Sure 4 and Speed from time, but it's definitely been very good going forward. It's definitely a threat to C9 that they look to avoid pick. C9, though, again, very adept here at Gibraltar. I think we've seen all manners of defenses from C9 Gibraltar over time, whether they hold the server room, hold in high ground, go to more of a crossfire defense where they have everyone split up. They're adept at moving around here, so we'll see how it works out. But you take a look at Faze's offense, it's really going to be the idea of double pick comp, where you're either going to get a pick off from your Hanzo or a pick off from your Roadhog. And once you get yourself in that 65 situation, getting through becomes dramatically easier.
All right, so Kai going to join the team here. They are holding back near server room for the time being, and not too aggressively forward. See if they look to move around now. Not running a particularly vertical comp aside from Sure 4 on the Winston, so again, showcasing his willingness to play whatever the team needs. Triple tank for the time being. Because Shadowburn will get out on the map now and start looking for those opening picks as the Hanzo up to the ramparts he goes. They're hanging very far back.
And for C9, I think this is just the case where they're going to, again, run this triple tank and use it to try and isolate out Shadowburn. I think they're probably expecting the Genji over the Hanzo, but Winston's still not bad at isolating out Hanzo, putting up shields that really make it difficult for him to get really pickups. And you see Surefour immediately diving in, but Surefour immediately going down. Too easy's there with the immediate hook and punish. This creates a big opportunity now for Faze.
Oh, that Factor Fiction fairly low, but getting healed back up. They need to keep that Reinhardt in fighting shape. Mendo could be in a bit of danger here as he tries to Wraith Form away, but it's into Factor Fiction's waiting arms. And he will end up bringing him down with the help of the team. Now they push forward, trying to get to this first point very quickly. Dangerously close to an Earth Shatter, but no, it's already come out the other direction. It's Rib who takes him for a ride, shuts him down, and might just have saved this early push.
It's still going to be difficult. The C9 is still down a whole lot of people. They have to worry about the nano boost here on the point. Zom's still a very big threat. Mendo, though, able to get a kill on the Shadowburn on the back line. C9, powered by Rib, still the real shot at bringing this back now, where really it was Faze with a gigantic, overwhelming advantage.
Factor Fiction will be getting back into the fold, but the team is going to have to reset a bit as nearly all of them perish or get forced back. They turn just now losing Zom, so that is really going to slow things down. They were close, but probably about the least ideal location for the cart to be, with long respawn relatively for the offense. They'll try to move forward, capture this cart. Can we see a good setup here? They don't have anything to combine with the Sonic Arrow aside from the Earth Shatter, or sorry, from the Dragon Strike, I should say. But he lets it go anyway and he hopes for the best.
No, by the way, we do have Surefour on the Roadhog. Immediately going to get hooked and dispatched by Too Easy once more, so Too Easy having Surefour's number. Still back and forth, 44 between both teams. Mendo was in the back line, has to back out here from Too Easy. Going to get whole hogged in the back. Has no Wraith Form to save him. It's really Too Easy landing hook after hook, opening the door, but his team is dying all around him. The tank play coming out from C9, holding them up at the end. Rib having a monster of a game once more.
This is a really strong hold from Faze with only 2 minutes to get to the first point. And, you know, generally once you get that much momentum, ZP, we do see teams at least cap the first point, and then if anything, they struggle more indoors. But that has not been the case here. As far as the ultimates to work with, only a sound barrier currently for Forsaken, and not even that close to anything else, so they may not be able to rely on ultimates to push through. Meanwhile, Mendo, he's ready with the Beyblade.
All right, and you take a look here at Faze. They only have a minute 20 left. This is one of their best options, but the sleep comes in. They accidentally wake him up. Mendo rolling right in. No fear. Death Blossom in. Immediately takes out Raucus, and Raucus has to be furious there. He had the sleep dart. It was immediately broken, and Raucus pays for it with his life, and it wasn't even his fault.
Tough call. He was pretty far away. You can't easily count on a sleep dart hitting, but that's the kind of thing that can completely turn the tides of a fight. They will have their own nano boost for this. Rib, though, with the Earth Shatter to interrupt whoever that target might be. And we did see a swap up here with Shadowburn no longer playing on the Hanzo. He is now going to be the one taking over the mantle of the Reaper as he looks to get into the backline, try to isolate, bring down the enemy Zarya. Kai dies fairly close to his ultimate. Can they find the follow-up kills? Charges in now, Graviton Surge is there, Death Blossom available. They need just a couple more. Rib holds the line, but finally they will slay the Reinhardt.
Shadowburn getting 2 kills there towards the very end, still on the Death Blossom. Adam is not going to be able to stall this out, take it out on the wall, and Faze. That was their final attempt. They had the ult advantage, though, and they capitalized. Even though Shadowburn takes it out, Faze will be getting this point. But here's the thing, is that C9 at least is going to be able to restabilize here in the hangar phase, so Faze still really not out of this time pressure.
They're slightly cornered here. I do want to retreat into the main interior of the hangar. See Shadowburn, meanwhile, looks like creeping up top of the shuttle. Does he find a good opening here? Could drop down at any moment. Doesn't have a nano boost to work with, though. Trying to find that clean pick and just sitting back in the meanwhile. Gonna Wraith Form in towards enemy heroes. Backing away now. And it's gonna reset a little bit. Let's see where he goes.
Graviton comes in here from C9 Blair into the fight, but Shadowburn finds his way to the back. No one's looking for that flank. Takes out one. Going for a second. Should be able to get the cleanup he's looking for here. He can't let a Reaper come in from that angle. C9 doing a good job of holding on regardless, but when Too Easy and Shadowburn are still up, things are going to be good here for Faze as they roll it forward.
Well, Surefour continues to swap throughout this series. We've seen him on at least 4 heroes already. Now onto the McCree, one of his most comfortable and frequently played heroes over the lifetime of Overwatch, and now has access to the Deadeye. The setup could be the Earth Shatter of Rib, who's, as you said, ZP, this man has been out of control all series long. 2 Earth Shatters up. There's a Nano Boost on Raucus as well. The Shadowburn going to find an opening again.
Right now, both of them just fighting off here on top, and he does find an opening. He takes down Shadowburn. Sure4 already with a big boon here, the C9. Too easy, firing back though. Both teams down to key DPS.
Rib with the counter hammer smash, but what a timing by Factor Fiction. Just raises the shield, protects the team, and now they can look to move in. He's nano boosted, angry and out for some Russian blood. Wants a piece of Kai, hammering into him and almost bringing him down, though the shield is too much. Kai survives through the onslaught of a nano boosted Reinhardt and all his fury.
Still going to be pretty rough here for C9. They are outgunned. Kai tried to get back on. Going to get countered by that Graviton. Faze breaking through the hangar relatively quickly. 2 minutes left here to bring it to last, and this is pretty good amount of time left to go for last. We'll have 4 or 5 attempts at this. C9 going to have to restabilize here in a moment. Kai, lucky for him, did not actually use Graviton last fight, so for C9, they're going to be looking for that Graviton to give them a little bit of stability, as the offense is still looking to build up Faze.
Gonna be tough though, ZP, because there is a sound barrier to somewhat deal with this. Forsaken, ready to go. Mendo could come in from behind potentially, also has the Death Blossom, and here we go.
Graviton is in for Kai. 3 people in there to start things off. They don't have to fall through immediately. Mendo was not there. Late nano boost into the fight. That's what he was waiting for. Goes right into the backline. Gets took by Too Easy, and he's taken out. So Faze turning the tables. Too Easy with excellent Roadhog control right now. Faze now might be on the way to what could be the final push.
Oh, Lucio, ever so difficult at him, stalling that card as long as he possibly can. He crouches beneath it. Not going to happen. They continue to shove the shuttle forward. Closer and closer they get. Zombs threatening near the spawn. Doesn't actually have the Graviton Surge yet, but another pick by Too Easy. That could be the difference maker as Mendo tries to clear the area. His area gets completely shut down.
Too Easy has been coming in huge right now for Faze. Shadowburn looks for the cleanup. Death Blossom in, takes down 2. And it's going to be Sure4 here in the back, just trying to delay his Tracer. Immediately taken out, and Faze, with 51 seconds left, will be completing here in Gibraltar. And just a little bit more on that. Too Easy was winning matchups versus Sure4 all game long, was being hyper consistent on his hooks. And we talked about the variability of Faze, where Faze, sometimes they have really good games, sometimes they have really bad games. Too Easy perhaps more variable than any other player in the game, but he definitely put on a show there. And that's what Faze needs if they're going to beat C9.
Woo, that looked like it could have been a full hold. One more good fight, ZP, and they had it. And you have gotta like the fact that they were so willing to swap there down the stretch. Multiple swaps by Shadowburn and by Too Easy, making the difference, and just some really good teamwork. Also, lots of individual plays. Factor Fiction dropping the shield and then picking it back up right as Rib went in with the Earth Shatter. If he doesn't shield in time, that push maybe slows down in the hangar. Maybe they don't even get out. So lots of little moments you can look back on where individual play made the difference.
Absolutely. And one thing I was a little bit surprised by C9, where it might have been a little bit more in their favor, is we already, looking back to that Lijiang game on Control Center, we know that Sure4 has leveled up his Mei quite a bit in recent times, had a near perfect Mei game. I kind of, in retrospect, would have liked to have seen some man defense rather than the tank, because whether he was on Roadhog or Winston, Sure4 was getting just outpicked by Too Easy. Now, obviously, there's ways they could have played that where it might not have turned out that way, but I think that Too Easy would have had a much more difficult time dealing with Sure4's Mei than dealing with his Winston or Roadhog, respectively. But either way, FaZe is going to be taking their turn here on the defense, and Shadowburn going to be up on that defensive Genji.
We're going to see Mendo potentially running the Hanzo out as well. And I mean, we talk a lot about Sure4's versatility, but Mendo has shown quite a bit of that as well. These two often, it's been interchangeable. You know, we've seen both of them on the McCree at different points. Even Mendo with a late swap on the Mei to try and stall as the cart came in on the final point. So let's see how much he can get done here as they will enter the map. Looks like it's going to be a fairly defensive and standard hold back near server room.
Mendo just going to be looking for those all-important early pickups here on the Hanzo. Note that's not a double pick comp coming out here from C9. The rest of it being relatively standard. A lot on Mendo here to open the path. And look at this, Sure4 getting his revenge, just walks up and gives Too Easy early on in this. Normally it's the Hanzo starting things off with the bang, but Sure4 might be a little bit mad here.
All of that set up by Mendo with a great Sonic Arrow to give him the vision he needed so he could go in for the ambush. Shadowburn, a lot expected of him here. Can he find the openings as Mendo just hides on the high ground? No contest from a Genji. Not often you see that. Waiting for the scatter arrow. Zombs immediately losing his defensive shield. Might go down here, and that could spell real trouble if so. Shadowburn still looking for openings. He is getting pretty close to the Dragon Blade. as they try to keep tabs on him with the Sonic Arrow. But here we go, too easy. He's rushing in. Nano boosted and angry as all hell.
Roadhog is in right now. Hasn't gotten any pickups just yet, but finds Surefour for the revenge kill. C9 still really taking the payload on the situation, but here comes Shadowburn. Late cleanup coming in on the Dragon Blade. Takes down Wolf, looking for more. Mendo able to stop it, so it's still a bit of a brawl, but C9 definitely losing this on the numbers right now. And we'll see if Mendo can pull this back, but it's going to be very rough.
Factor Fiction trying to stand strong on the card. Here he gets vacuumed on top of it. This is going to be followed up by a Dragon Strike straight on top and into the hearts of Faze. Can they stay on top? Too easy stalling. They do not want to give up this first point quite so early. Shadowburn rushing back in, drops the frantic scatter arrow, but Genji gets up quite a bit of damage, and now Forsaken re-arriving to the fight. Could be.
Coming in, laying the fight. Late Death Blossom grabbing 3 right at the end. Oh my goodness, that was very, very close. It was Kai, Adam, and Mendo buying time versus that entire respawn wave. And it was enough for Surefour to get back into that fight, get nano boosted to clear things out. So good efforts by both sides, but C9 now not only getting through first, but now getting a little bit of positioning here on the upper part of the hangar as well.
Surefour holding the high ground for the time being. Does see Forsaken. They really want to dislodge him. Don't want him to be able to threaten a jump down from above. Too easy. Running by quickly. He can put a lot of pressure on this Reinhardt shield, force him to face awkward angles. Factor Fiction is struggling a bit to deal with this. He's just going to end up dropping down entirely.
Looking for the Kyocha right now. The Rib, Factor Fiction mind games going on. Zombie being very highly aggressive moving. It's going to get countered here a bit by Kai. So you have the tank battle going on the bottom. People looking for positioning up on top. Here comes the hammer from Rib to set things up.
Yeah, he takes a little nap, and Factor Fiction will come back up. Still has his own Earth Shatter. Not going to blow it. It looks like the hold without it. Too easy. Finding 2 kills, and that is going to force the back.
And the thing there from Rib's hammer is that it was looking like it was going to be okay, but it turned out to be more of a panic Earth Shatter where he did knock down Factor Fiction, but was so low HP-wise that he wasn't going to be able to withstand and hold that on. So this is going to create an opening for Faze where they will be able to reestablish defensively, and that's really good for you hang on hanger, especially when they have the ult advantage they have right now.
Zom's looking for the setup here. Graviton Surge. Good placement. Is there going to be follow-up as he drops down on the low ground? Factor Fiction can look to join this one, charging in. And it looks like another pretty clean victory as far as the fight goes. Earth Shatter committed here, wants to bring down Rib again, and will lay into him with the hammer. He's established his dominance as the real Reinhardt for now. Shadowburn getting some garbage time cleanup kills, and this will force another offensive reset.
Take a look here at the offense. They will have, of course, nano boost in the Death Blossom for the next fight. Defense going to have Sound Barrier Death Blossom as well. So Shadowburn, the question is, will you be able to get drop in from a good position on the C9 here? Is Surefour going to be able to somehow go through? Right now he's just staying with his team, so C9 is going to go for the brute force approach here, and that's exactly what they're going to do. Surefour moving right in.
Sneaking around from behind both. Both Reapers do have access to the Death Blossom. Charging in the Nano Boost committed onto the Zarya. Surefour going to snake in from below. Not sure if that's exactly what they intended. Meanwhile, Shadowbird hanging out on top of the shuttle is now going to drop down after committing his own Death Blossom. They still hold this card for now, but all 6 alive on both teams as they try to maintain control. It seems like the kill is slanting the way of the defense with Too Easy knocked down, but not finished off. Can start to work on the enemy Zarya. And again, another hold for Team Faze.
I think it's pretty safe to say that was not the intent coming out there from C9. They were perfectly set up for Surefour there to put the nano boost on Surefour and have Surefour go in. Kai ends up getting in instead. Now they're not in as good a position. But speaking of Kai, it does have a Graviton Surge up at the very least. Not the easiest stage in the map to really get big Gravitons on, but Kai is going to have to do it. As C9 down to a minute 25 here, so they really need a strong play to get through and push Faze off of this hangar.
See Surefour duking it out with Shadowburn. Gets a little help from Wolf, who will finish him off. Still looking for the opportunity to jump in. Can he combine with Kai? Is the question. Kai gonna let it go. He finds a good Graviton Surge and then coming in hot and heavy, but not enough. Too easy. There with the huge triple kill. McCree deny completely dismantling this offensive push, and they committed big ultimates. CP, time is becoming a real issue here for Cloud9.
C9 down to a minute, and what a massive play that was for Too Easy. C9 very well would have taken that fight, but Too Easy was able to get to that back line, channel the Deadeye, and took out the fight when it mattered most. And now Looking at C9 here, they're going to have a sound barrier, but not a whole lot else. They're just going to have to pop it and go. Hope to get an early kill very early on. Surefour, of course, swapping to Genji here, looking for the miracle, looking for an early Dragon Blade, but with Mendo taking out Forsaken early, the door is open. 2 kills here from C9. They haven't even used the sound barrier yet.
Surefour moving in. They also have the Kai Winston to work with. Now they're going to charge forward. They can get some real progress on the cart. They're dangerously close to overtime before this checkpoint, though. Getting to work, though, Surefour, showing off that he, too, can play a pretty mean Genji. Can he find the kills? He's going to have a Swift Strike reset. Keeps on snowballing. Now into Forsaken. Almost has access to the Dragon Blade. It's going to be close down to the wire. We go. Factor Fiction could be the difference maker here. Has an Earth Shatter. Can he interrupt? Can he shut down Surefour? He gets the charge. He gets the kill. And still this cart moving forward. It is not quite over yet, but it seems like they just might be holding. Swinging that hammer on Adam. Desperately scrambling on the cart for all he's worth. Nano Boost now on the Winston as it's Kaikai's turn to rush in. He's got a Primal Rage. He's going to start battering the bets. Get off my cart. Let me in, he says. But Shadowbird looking to slam the door here. Not going to make it too easy. And in the end, they will fail. They will fall short. And we've got a 1-1 series on our hands.
My goodness, Faze able the reinforcement mattered most. C9 could not have asked for a better opening to that fight. They started out on a 6v4 approach. However, it was Faze able to back off just enough, give time for the respawns to come back in, and as a result, they were able to push C9 back, and too easy to play the match.
This was probably that ult shutdown on, looks like it was. This could have been devastating, but Surefour got denied. And also worth mentioning, really nice Lucio ult to further negate the chance of that combo paying off.
And it wasn't just too easy on the McCree. His Roadhog play back on the Faze attack was also very, very good. And again, Faze is a different team when Too Easy has big games. The problem is he doesn't have them in every particular map that Faze plays. He shows up big, disappears, shows up big again. But for Faze, when you can have a game like that from Too Easy, to where Shadowburn doesn't have to do the bulk of the living